Something is brewing in Atlanta. It's loud, it's bold, and it might just change everything. A player nobody believed in is now at the center of a movement, and he says the Falcons are headed straight for the Super Bowl. You can feel it. This isn't hype. It's real. The locker room is buzzing. The offense is stacking weapons. And one unlikely leader has stepped forward to say the thing nobody else dared to say: we're going all the way. The question is, do you believe him? Breaking news out of Flowery Branch. And this one is shaking up the NFL world. The Atlanta Falcons have officially entered the spotlight, and not just because of a flashy signing or a headline-making injury. No, this one's different. This wave of energy is coming from inside the locker room, and it all revolves around one man, Ray McCloud. Yes, you heard that right. Ray, the veteran journeyman who spent 6 long seasons bouncing from team to team, never quite finding his place, is now standing tall in Atlanta. And he's not just talking about being better. He's talking Super Bowl, loudly, proudly, and unapologetically. McCloud's words aren't empty hype. They're coming from a guy who finally broke through last season, putting up 686 receiving yards, almost double his entire career total before joining the Falcons. And now, with 2025 in full view, he's carrying something different. He's not just catching passes. He's speaking like a man who's seen what's coming. And he's ready for the world to believe. And who is he betting on? Not himself. At least, not only. He's betting on the Falcons' young quarterback, the same one who hasn't even played a full year as a starter, but is already turning heads and winning hearts. That guy? Ray says he's the truth. I'm excited, and I won't be surprised by any of it. McCloud told Pro Sports Football Network. I've watched him for a year, every practice, and I'm ready to see him go out there with confidence and experience. I believe we can go all the way. That's not a fan's dream. That's not a coach's quote. That's a teammate's belief, and belief is dangerous in the best way. The Falcons' offense? It's already waking up. They were 6th in the league in total offense last year, even with a brand new system under Zach Robinson. Now they've had an entire offseason to lock in, build chemistry, and tighten the playbook. That means firepower is coming. Bijan Robinson is expected to take over in an even bigger role, and he might just be the most explosive young back in the NFL. Drake London is still the alpha on the outside. Darnell Mooney? He's bringing Olympic-level speed into the slot. And if Kyle Pitts can find his rhythm again, watch out. It's a problem for every defense on the schedule. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Ray McCloud's rise has created a real battle in the receiver room. And it's not just between wideouts. It's impacting Kyle Pitts, who was once the golden boy, a Pro Bowler as a rookie, the future of the position. But late last year, Charlie Warner quietly stole most of the tight end snaps, leaving Pitts fighting just to stay on the field. Last season, Pitts lined up in the slot nearly half the time. But guess what? That's McCloud's territory now, and he's not letting go of it. So now you've got a locker room full of talent, a quarterback ready to break out, and a veteran receiver, once forgotten, calling his shot. Is this crazy talk? Or is something special building in Atlanta? What do you think? Is Ray McCloud right? Can the Falcons really make a run at the Super Bowl in 2025? Drop your take in the comments below and rate your confidence in this Falcons roster from 1 to 10. Let's talk about it. Dirty Bird Nation, stand up. What happens when belief collides with pressure? When one locker room is split between wild confidence and quiet doubt? That's where the Falcons stand right now. And all eyes are on one man, Penn. Some think he's the future. Others think he's in over his head. But one thing's for sure. The next 5 weeks will define everything. Here's the truth, Falcons fans. This locker room is a battlefield. Not in a bad way, but in the kind of way that either creates greatness or breaks it. There's a storm building inside Flowery Branch. You've got Ray McCloud lighting a fire. You've got Kyle Pitts fighting to stay relevant. And you've got wide receivers, tight ends, and even undrafted rookies battling for every single snap. That kind of competition can take a team to the next level, but it can also spark tension if the wins don't come fast. And at the center of it all is Penn. Let's be honest. Falcons fans are split on this young quarterback. Some saw the flashes last season, the way he picked apart Washington with pinpoint throws, the calm in the pocket, the flashes of something special. Others, they can't stop thinking about the 58.1% completion rate and the moments where he just looked overwhelmed. But here's the thing, his teammates believe, the coaches believe, and even Atlanta royalty believes. Michael Vick, the legend himself, watched Penn in practice and said, "I think this is going to be an amazing season for him. Everything looks like it's slowing down." That's not just a compliment. That's a quarterback who's been there, who's felt the pressure. And when a guy like Vic says you've got it, that means something. And he'll need every bit of that calm, because the pressure? It's coming fast. The Falcons open the season against 4 playoff teams in the first 5 weeks. That's no warm-up. That's a gauntlet. Penn won't have the luxury of easing into the season. From week 1, the lights will be bright, the defenses will be aggressive, and the fans will be watching every throw. But this team isn't like the old Falcons. No more soft, bend, and break defenses. Terry Fontino went all in on the other side of the ball. He hired Jeff Ulbrich as the new defensive coordinator. He drafted not 1, but 2 edge rushers in the first round. He added new corners and safeties to finally fix a secondary that's been giving up big plays for years. If this defense can even play average football, just hold the line, this team becomes scary. And don't sleep on the rookies. Jalen Walker is a dog. Physical. Quick. He's going to find snaps at linebacker. James Pierce Jr. has the tools to be a future starter on the edge. Xavier Watson-Billy Bowman Jr. bring attitude and range to the secondary. Jack Nelson might not start, but he'll be in the trenches by midseason. And then there's the wild card, Nick Nash, undrafted, unknown, but quietly turning heads in camp. If he keeps showing out, don't be surprised if he steals snaps from veterans in the slot. Yes, even McLeod and Agnew. He's that hungry. Even deep down the roster, you've got rookie quarterback Kobe Bryant fighting just to make the 53 as the third-string QB or emergency nickel. Every single camp rep could decide his NFL future. There's pressure. There's competition. But most importantly, there's belief. After years of disappointment and maybe next year talk, this Falcons team feels different. They're not hoping to win. They're expecting to win. McLeod's confidence? That's not arrogance. That's the energy of a team that's tired of being counted out, tired of waiting for someone else to lead. So here's the question, Atlanta. Are we finally ready to believe again? Do you trust Penn to handle the pressure? Do you think the defense is ready? And who's your surprise breakout player this year? Let me know in the comments. And if you feel that fire building in Atlanta, drop a Super Bowl? Is Ray McLeod out of his mind? Or is he just brave enough to say what every Falcons fan has quietly dreamed about for years? Because deep down, maybe we've all felt it, this team might actually be different. Let's just say it out loud. Ray McLeod said the Falcons can go to the Super Bowl. And whether you laughed, shook your head, or whispered, maybe, you felt something. Because this might not be blind optimism. It might not be crazy at all. It might be what nobody's had the courage to admit until now. The Falcons are finally building a complete team. And the wildest part? That belief isn't coming from just the offense. No, it's the defense that might actually be the biggest X factor in 2025. Let that sink in for a second. The Falcons' defense, the same side of the ball that's been a revolving door of pain and disappointment since. What? 2012? Now it has teeth. Jeff Ulbrich is back in Atlanta. But this time, he's not just coaching linebackers. He's calling the shots, and he's already lighting a fire that's spreading across the entire defense. It starts with the pass rush. For the first time since John Abraham wore the red and black, the Falcons might finally have the ability to hunt quarterbacks. 2 first-round edge rushers are now in the building. These aren't just long-term projects. These are game wreckers with the speed and violence to change games now. And behind them, the secondary is growing fast. Rookies Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman Jr. are making early noise in camp. These aren't guys who need a year to develop. These are ball hawks, tone setters, competitors who don't want to wait their turn. Pair them with the defensive backs already on the roster, and suddenly this isn't a unit hoping to hang on. It's a defense that's ready to attack. If they can just hold teams to under 24 points consistently, just be average, the offense can take care of the rest. The vibe in training camp? It's electric. There's competition everywhere. Hunger. Swagger. Guys aren't just showing up to practice. They're showing up to take someone's job. Look at Jalen Walker, already working with the starters. Look at Nick Nash, the undrafted wideout who keeps making plays. If he keeps this up, he could sneak into the WR3 or WR4 spot before the season ends. And if that happens, it gives Penn even more weapons to work with. Look at Kobe Bryant, not the NBA legend, but the rookie quarterback battling just to make the roster. Even he's in the mix, fighting for a future. This isn't a top-heavy team anymore. There's depth, there's youth, there's fire. But we've got to be real. It still all comes down to Penix. We thought Kirk Cousins would be the bridge to something stable, and that bridge collapsed before we ever took a step. Now, Penn isn't just trying to be good. He's trying to carry a team that's been wandering in the wilderness for years. He's trying to bring relevance back to a city that's sick of being forgotten. And right out of the gate, he's getting 4 playoff teams in 5 weeks. That's the NFL's version of a pressure cooker. If he struggles, the noise will be deafening. The media will pile on. Fans will question everything. But if he stands tall, if he looks like the guy we saw at the end of last season, the one who stayed calm, stood tall in the pocket, and let it rip with confidence, then this whole league is going to have to pay attention. So, Dirty Bird Nation, tell me the truth. Do you feel it? Is this just another summer of empty hope? Or is this the beginning of something real? Is Ray crazy? Or is he just the first one to say what we've all been too afraid to believe? Is this the year the Falcons wake up the NFL? Drop a if you're riding with Penn. Hit the comments and tell me, are you in or out on the Penix train?